Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, I'm not good at summaries, so I'm just going to read the summary off the book sleeve before jumping into my review so we are all on the same page. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, despite her mortality. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. As Jude becomes more deeply embroiled in palace intrigues and deceptions, she discovers her own capacity for trickery and bloodshed. But as betrayal threatens to drown the courts of Fairy in violence, Jude will need to risk her life in a dangerous alliance to save her sisters and Fairy itself. What I liked about this book, I love fairies and fae folk. Growing up reading about them because of my grandmother's bookshelf, like I've said many times before, it was mainly about Celtic mythology, legends, history, fiction books based on Celtic mythology, and it's always chock full of fairies and fae, so I grew up loving fairies, so if I see anything fairy related, I will pick it up. I love the world building in this novel and wanted more of the world. I also enjoyed the names of the characters. They're original but not over the top or hard to pronounce like a lot of names are in fantasy novels, young adult and adult alike. I really enjoyed the twist with Taryn because usually you have twins as close and like one and the same, but that's not the case in this novel, and I enjoyed that new idea of not relating to your twin. I also enjoyed the strength that Taryn, Jude, and Vivian show throughout the novel because, as the summary said, their parents were murdered, and spoiler, the murderer of their parents take them in, he's a fairy, and it's an interesting relationship between him and 3 sisters, and it's not just the struggle of having to live with your parents' murderer, but also the rest of the fairies in general. Like the summary said, fairies don't like humans, and they have to live in this world no matter what, because especially for Taryn and Jude, they know nothing else, and honestly, like they both say in this novel, they don't want to go back to the human world. So they have to figure a lot of stuff out. What I didn't like about this book, there were only a few things that happened in this novel that I didn't see coming. 95% of the book was predictable, which was a bit disappointing because I saw a lot of people saying that it was very original and better than Sarah J. Maas's plot twists, and I don't see it in this book, honestly. I don't see people saying that this is dark, disturbing, and depressing. Maybe I'm desensitized, but I mean, other than having to live with your parents' murderer, I'm not seeing the dark, disturbing, and depressing part of this novel. Even for young adult. I've read worse things in young adult novels throughout the years. The connection I saw with Jude and Cardan is there, but I'm confused when people say it's blaring and sensual. I definitely don't see that in this book. Maybe it's the second book that they're really talking about, and readers are connecting both books together when they say sensual. And I heard, but I haven't read The Wicked King. I've heard that there is a scene or two between them that really is that way, but the scenes between them in this book, there's tension, you see that, but I'm not seeing sensual. I'm just seeing hate to love trope coming up, which is totally fine. Those are really fun, but I think people hyping up the sensuality, saying that it's blaring and comes off the page, is a bit of a disappointment for me because I thought there was going to be a lot of scenes where you could really feel it. And I didn't really feel it, honestly. Also, I did not like the prologue. It left nothing to the drama or imagination. I can clearly understand what happened without that prologue because they mention it throughout the whole novel, so I don't get why that prologue was there. That's another reason why I'm not a fan of prologues. You didn't need that prologue because it's talked about and is a theme throughout the whole book. And also the tone of the prologue didn't match the rest of the novel, and that threw me off a bit. The writing was actually too plain for me. There was a lot of repeating the same words, phrases, and thoughts from Jude's point of view. Holly used a lot of reminders about what happened and what's going on, not in the dialogue, which I think would be fine, or action, but paragraphs after paragraph after paragraph of thoughts and explanations by Jude. I didn't see the point in that. Also, there's one part in the book I felt was so sloppy and unnecessary. Jude lays out her big plan in a short chapter. I think the chapter length is maybe like 4 or 5 pages in this copy. Why? It left nothing to the imagination. She laid out her whole plan when she was talking to herself. I don't get it. So I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I do recommend it for people that are into young adult fantasy and like Holly Black. Thank you so much for watching my review on The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. If you like what you just saw, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to get to know me and any of my writing, all of that is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great bookish day. Bye!